We're also very much touched by the feelings and the sympathy was from all over the world. I believe, my very personal belief, that this has happened to try to destroy the country, because they did that in one of the most popular and known sport all over the world. Because they know if there is anything happen in any of these matches, would be anywhere in the world in a minute. And that's exactly what happened. But let's take the positive side of it and talk about the sympathy from all over the world, like in Barcelona, like in the other clubs. Please talk to us about that.
Well, it's very touching and amazing how the world, people, especially the people that are involved in football, like you've mentioned, Barcelona, Bayern Munich have played in a black kit with the Egyptian flag on it. There's a lot of football players on Twitter and their Facebook pages. They've sent out their condolences to Egypt and to all of the Egyptians that are following them on their pages, on their fan pages. Tunis, I think, a couple of days ago in their match, they also showed sympathy and about what happened. And it's something not to be ignored, because, like I've mentioned, over the top 10 world tragedies that happened in football, this is ranked number 4, and it's never going to be forgotten. But like you said, we always want to be positive. We always want to learn from our experiences and from other people's experiences as well. And if you look at one of the tragedies, which is rated number 3, happened in England, and it was an FA Cup match between Liverpool and Nottingham Forest. Now, this was held in Sheffield, and it was because of the Stampede tragedy.
Yeah.
The stadium was too small. People were late for the match because of public transportation problems. So people ran into the stadium trying to catch the match from the beginning. It was a huge chaos, and there was about 96 casualties, people who've died during that match. And that was in the reign of Margaret Thatcher, when she was in charge.
Prime Minister.
Prime Minister. They quickly sat down, and she assigned a person called Lord Justice Taylor to come out and put down a rule for the football events, football matches and stadiums.
To avoid that in the future.
Exactly. Yeah. So he came out with a Taylor report, and anybody can Google the Taylor report to see what is in the report.
It's very easy access.
Yeah, exactly. And this is something that makes me very, very upset and mad, because information is out there. I mean, it's just a matter of looking for it and practicing it. You know, Lord Taylor came back with a very good report, and until today, they are still obliging and going by these reports. His main, I'm not going to go into detail, but main topics about the report is that he converted all of the stadiums from the concrete stands into seated stadiums, which would be more safer for the supporters. The second main issue that he said that we need to have ID cards for the spectators, because we need to know who is exactly entering the stadium and who is leaving the stadium. Also, he's done some issues about the gates around the stadiums, the entrances, and it's like you've mentioned at the beginning, the stadiums again in Egypt. Sometimes we go to the match maybe 5-6 hours before a match, and we say because of security reasons. I've attended matches in Europe and in Santiago Bernabeu Stadium, Real Madrid game, and I went to the stadium. The gates open 40 minutes before kickoff, and that's a big stadium that has almost 70,000 spectators.
But they have a system.
They have a system, and they have maybe more than 100 gates to enter and exit.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, access and security.
Exactly.
There's very high measures there.
Sure. Another issue is about the stewardess and the ushers that are in the that are organizing the crowd inside. These are not they're not police, they're not army, they're not nothing. They are just people, well trained, They know how to manage the crowd. They interact with the crowd because they're qualified to interact with the crowd. They will help the crowd exit the stadiums if there's any kind of chaos or crisis.
Yeah, but
And above,
I'm sorry for interruption, but I have to mention to our audience, there is no comparison, because you're talking about amateur league in Egypt, supposedly a semi-pro, because the players are paid, but there is no pro in management. On the other hand, what you're talking about is totally pro, like an economical association. They have to have this in a very proper way because it is already in the stock exchange. I mean, if there is anything affected the economy, it will affect anything. I'm sorry, anything affected the match will affect the economy of that association.
Sure.
So we can't really compare of that, but we can compare about the security measurements. We can talk about it and how can we really learn from what we have.
Sure.
I'm sorry for interruption
you're
again.
absolutely right. But today, for me, for example, when I want to reach, if I have hopes and I have goals, I always look and try to copy from the best.
I agree.
I want to use those as my benchmarks.
I agree.
If I don't reach 100%, like they've been practicing it for 10, 15 years, so of course we will never reach there in a very short period of time. But at least if we reach 50, 60, 70% of what they're doing, I'm sure that what happened 2 days ago, we wouldn't have had 74 people dead because of a football match.
We will know
If we would have had more gates opened, people knew that there was more exits to the stadium than just one gate.
Well, I think we are waiting to know what's the reason for this disaster, what we are seeing on and on and on now.